Hello, folks, to the Community Curation Podcast. I am your host, the Gothic Storyteller, and with us today is the one and only Shake of Milk. Shake, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. I'm doing very good.
I've been looking forward to this. You have a very interesting list here of films that we get to cover. Some of them are, for one, all-time classics, and most of these are like classics in the making. And one of them I definitely cannot wait to dissect the mind on of like why did you pick this one out of like all the other specific like adaptations of this one character. I was like, why this one?
Yeah.
uh how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm nervous. Honestly, I had a nightmare. I thought, man, I woke. Man, I'm so glad it was a dream because I dreamt. I was so nervous that I dreamt that I slept till like 5 p.m. my time, which is like way. It was just like 8 p.m. your time, and then I'm like, oh fuck. I was texting you. I'm like, or messaging you. I'm like, oh my bad, dude. I was like, no, I missed the podcast, and then I woke up and it was like 10 in the morning. I'm like, oh okay. Oh man, but it felt so real though. But yeah, so I'm a little nervous, but happy to
I
be here. Long
I've
time
had
listener.
I've had those dreams where like you wake up and you think you've missed the school bus, kind of like
Yeah.
anxiety, like, oh shit, my mom's gonna beat my ass. And I was like, wait, I'm 30 years old, my mom ain't beat my ass no more.
Yeah.
For folks that are new here, ShakeofMilk is a streamer and everything, and also a podcaster. He's been on numerous other podcasts, which I will allow him to plug. What podcast are you on? I've seen your
I'm
clips.
I'm on a podcast with my friends called Legend Gary and the Los Amigos. I know it's actually not the Los, but I like to put in the extra the there because Los is the in Spanish. So the Los the Amigos. Anyway, sorry, I digress. I'm there. I'm on there on Sundays. We start usually at 5:30 p.m. PST. So I'll be on over there after this.
Nice.
Um,
So
but yeah,
you folks know, after this live show, you go over to Shake Show and everything, and maybe
yeah,
I'll pop on there one time.
yeah, and yeah, we talk about movies and games and just like a little. It's just kind of just three dudes, three friends, just catching up over the week, talking about our week and interesting things.
Oh yeah. How long have you been doing
Yeah,
that?
man, we've been doing that. Oh man, for off and on for a few years now. So a little. So I guess I'll start. I'll introduce myself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I've been streaming for like 10 years now. Or it was 10 years in November last year. But yeah, some 10 years and some change, and
On Twitch, or were you
on
elsewhere?
Twitch, on Twitch. I've been
Really?
on Twitch, yeah, for whenever I created my account. It was like in 2014 or something. And I just started streaming. I was like around that time. I bought like a little capture card. I was working nights and I was watching a lot of like YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got YouTube Red, and so I just was just listen. I would lock my phone. I would just listen to podcasts and videos, and eventually like it auto rolled to a game, to a gaming video, and it was like Minecraft, and I just started watching it, and I'm like, oh man, it's like this looks like fun, and then made videos. I still upload videos here and there on YouTube. Um, but then I got into Twitch. I started watching VODs that were uploaded to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, what's a VOD? What's Twitch? So I downloaded the app and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I would watch a lot of Tim the Tatman back when he played Black Ops and Call of Duty, and he had hair. I don't know if you know who Tim the Tatman is.
I
Have you
don't.
heard of him?
That
No,
Tim
he's
the
like a
Tatman
big
sounds like a
streamer.
sailor or something.
Yeah. No, he's like this big streamer. He was big on Twitch for a long time, and then he went over to YouTube. Uh, he signed one of those multi-million-dollar deals. So he was
He
over
got
there, and
big.
now he's back on Twitch. Yeah, yeah. He was like in a lot of not in a lot, but he was like in like two Call of Duty commercials and stuff. I don't know. He's big now. He's one of the big dogs. But I would watch him a lot, and then I was like, I'm gonna try this, and I tried it, and I've been streaming off and on for a few years, or for the last 10 years, because sometimes like I just don't feel like doing it. I'm just like,
there
yeah, I'm just gonna play games on my own,
Yeah,
But
there's
yeah,
some days of like I can be the showman, and then there's other days that are like fuck this shit. It's like I'll go game. It's like that's it.
yeah. Because a lot of my content is just it's all gaming. I'm very simple. I just have my webcam and the game, and then sometimes I'll have the chat on screen. Sometimes they won't. Uh, but yeah. That's all. That's all I really do. And yap, and then other than that, then there's the podcast, which is real fun to do. Um,
How long has that been going on?
so that's been going on so this time around it's been going on for I think a year now. This isn't our first podcast we've done. We've had two, and this is our third one. So we've had two in the past. A group of it's my friend Legendary 323 and our other friend Lord Dookie, and we used to have I mean, he's still our friend. He's still around. He's married now, so he has to. He's doing.
Oh, yeah.
He's newlywed. He's doing the thing. So they just moved in together and all that. So married and all that. So he can't really come out to play like before. When he was
You got to knock on the
was
wife's
just
door. It's
engaged.
all like, can can our
Yeah,
friend come
yeah.
out and play?
Yeah,
Like,
can you come out to play? It's just really 2-3 hours, 4 tops, maybe 5. Maybe 12 the next morning. But he's at
12 the
home.
next morning.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
So
but
I
we've
have a
been doing
question
it
about the
off and on.
podcast because you said this is your third one
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah. This
So
is,
what
mhm.
was like the first one, like your learning curve, kind of figuring out things?
Yeah. The first one was a learning curve. We met on a site. We didn't meet on Twitch. We met on this website called VidMe, which is was like a YouTube competitor at the time, which
Mm.
it's no longer around because it's YouTube. But this is like
Yeah.
in 2015, 2016. Um, so we did it for like a year or two, and then we just kind of not really grew apart, but just life was happening. And then we came back around for a second run and same thing. Then maybe I think maybe 2017, 2018. We did it for not even a year, maybe like 6 months. And then this time around, the third time, our friend Gary was just doing his podcast solo, and then we just kind of migrated to him, and we've been doing that. I also have my own podcast, but I haven't uploaded since in like a couple months, and
Mm.
that's called Rambling with Shake, where I just ramble, and that's just more of like a online diary in a way. I just talk about video games, and most recently I talked about my backlog,
Mm-hmm.
and because that's like one of the main things I focus my channel around is just beating that never ending backlog of games.
Yeah.
Because I have
I
way too many.
it's funny because it's like I've had about 4 podcasts in my past.
Yeah.
I started off right when I was getting ready to get out of college, film school. I had the Gothic Hour. That
Ooh, I like
only
that.
that only lasted
Yeah.
technically one season because I had a whole boatload of guests for season 2 and like
Okay.
no one showed up. Like,
Oh.
no, I was completely ghosted, and I was like, all right, then, well, fuck you people and everything. And so I was like, you know what? This is like kind of like, my short film, even though it's my baby, I see all the mistakes in it. I was like, you were like the school for me to learn about podcasting. And then I went and I did a podcast with my buddy, um, Chris Cup and everything, and that became Cinema Alley. And we worked 3 years on that. 3 years, two
Cinema Alley.
seasons.
I like that name.
Yeah, we did that one. It is connected to the YouTube, like down at the bottom, so you can see like
Mm-hmm.
the old episodes. But we used to get like super tech and nerdy to the damn
Mm-hmm.
point that just setting up an episode would give me a migraine and everything, because like I was all like, oh my god, my head hurts, it's swelling, it's like we got to like remember all this information and everything that we learned, and hope that we're
Yeah,
actually saying it correctly and
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
And I think it became a running gag that it's like, well, the comments will roast me later if I get something
yeah.
wrong, especially if we talk Star Wars. Oh dear Lord,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, hell yeah,
they'll get you and everything. This was my official third one, and
yeah, dude.
this is the baby that I think is gonna beat probably, hopefully, the streak of what my second one was. 3 years I've
Yeah,
been
uh-huh.
this is year two. This is year two.
Yeah.
We're working on year two, and
Yeah, yes, yeah,
uh,
no, season two, great. It's been a great run, and I don't mean to cut you off, but and told you this earlier,
mhm.
and I gave you your flowers, which I think I want to bring up again because these shows have been so fun to listen to. There's been a lot of great movies that I that I haven't seen that I plan on watching because of this one, like the one with Robin Williams and the I don't remember the actor's name, but where they're gay and
Oh, the
uh
birdcage when Nathan
yeah,
Lane.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I have
Look at me, I'm hideous. Yeah, yeah.
I have it somewhere in these notes. Somewhere in this notepad. I have a list of movies just like right here. I wrote down the Cowboys and Searchers. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. This has been really fun to listen to, and I think this has been it's a good passion project, right? It's
hmm
good. You're very passionate about it, and I like the premise and like the show, and I do hope that you go on for 6 seasons and a movie. Yeah,
Well, you know what? This will probably be like Deadwood in last three
yeah,
seasons, and then it gets the movie. But it gets
yeah.
the
Oh
movie
yeah, yeah,
10
yeah.
ten
Even
years
better.
later. Like
Even better.
takes 10 years just to go launch the film. Thank you so much and everything for that. Like, now that the ego has been boosted and inflated,
Yeah.
like um Couch Potatoes were my fourth one. I really wanted that one to go on, but like I just couldn't keep up with the
That one was
demands of
fun.
editing and
I
everything.
like the. I listened to one where you had MIDI on, where you were
Oh, and
talking
we did
about
Yellow
Yellow Jackets.
Jackets. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I
pretty
think
good.
even me and Midi has sat there and talked about possibly like doing something special for like stream, because now Midi streams and everything.
Yeah.
And like possibly thinking back when we heard about Yellow Jackets 3, or I think it was right when the first trailer dropped. I was like, oh my god, I wonder what this is. What's this gonna be? It's like, because we loved the first season, and then I felt like even for that we were heavily critical on the second season, but that was because of Juliet Lewis wanting to back out, and I'm like, man, like
Dude. Uh-huh.
it I felt like it hurt that series so freaking much. Like the build up to season one, and then season two, it's like, all right, we're running, and then it just kind of felt like they while riding the bike, they just put the stick right in front of the pedal, and then they're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
go play the
yeah,
blame game.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
hurt
I've seen that
me,
meme.
and yeah,
Yeah,
and everything.
dude.
That's what it feels like and everything. Couch Potatoes was fun. I think it's probably better also too, like maybe if we did it like in shorter bursts of like, oh
Mm.
hey, here's like a season. It's not a year long, but like it's right here. Apparently people don't like podcasts like that. They don't like the seasonal podcast, and it's like, I really do, because that gives you something to look forward to in the season.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah, yeah. When you
television,
finish
you
it.
know it's like television. Like television isn't like what it used to be, where like you get 72 episodes per fucking
Oh,
season.
dude,
you
yeah, man.
know
Just like with anime, I love anime, and I've been watching a lot of it recently, and they're like this current one I'm watching it's 11 or 12 episodes long
hmm
for its one first season. It's like, oh, that's not enough, and they're only 20 something minutes, 22 minutes, and it's
yeah,
like I remember when it'd be like 30 plus episodes for one season,
the
just on
time
the
shrinkage for
TV.
anime, like, really. But like also too, that's, I look at it as like, it's the animation itself has evolved with along with the technology.
That is
That's
true.
kind of hard to fucking do 52 episodes per season and then give you three
Yes.
OVAs back to back. That's a bit hard to sit there and do, compared to like now. It's like, I kind of like the shorter episode thing. It kind of actually feels like that
Yeah.
could be written by one person. It's like, here's a 13 episode first season, and then season
Yeah.
two is when they get the writers room, and it's like, here, there's your
I
26.
Yeah, as far as anime, the animation's not so good. I'm thinking There's the shorter season. I mean, not just anime. Like, do you watch Invincible? Have you
I've heard of it,
been
but I
watching
haven't seen
Invincible?
it.
No. Oh yeah, this current season, the animation isn't as good as it was before. But we're getting off topic. What were we talking about? Oh yeah,
Podcast,
TV
TV,
shows.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that led
yeah.
off and
TV
everything.
episodes in general. Yeah, they're a lot shorter for sure.
Agree and everything. How so we got into how long you stream. What and specifically what made you stream? God, I almost had an aneurysm right there.
Oh,
So, folks, I think it's time. I think it's time to jump right into the films and everything before, we cut loose again. Uh, the first film of the pick and everything is Matt Reeves' The Batman. Of all the different Batmans, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer,
yeah,
God
Val
rest his
Kilmer.
soul,
Yeah.
George Clooney, even though we kind of forget that he
George
was,
Clooney.
you had the Christian Bale, you had
Christian
the
Bale.
uh
The old
Ben
school one.
Ben Affleck. Oh, Adam West.
Ben
Yeah,
Affleck. Yeah, Adam
from
West.
66 Batman is Adam
There's
West
even
and everything.
animated Batman movies
Kevin
too.
Conroy and
Yeah,
everything.
Kevin
And
Conroy.
so
Yeah, but
what?
the Batman.
Yeah, why did you pick the Batman?
The Batman. Man, it is. I really liked that movie. I really liked Robert Pattinson as Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Batman as a character. I'm not like Batman's not my favorite
Mm-hmm.
character, DC character even. My favorite is Nightwing, but I really like, and I know Batman was originally like this comedic character, and then now he's taking on this like darker detective, like dark detective. I mean, he's always been a detective, right? But
Yeah.
you're a fellow comic nerd, and man, we haven't been on the.
Believe it or not, I have
the
not read
comic
too
book
many
too
Batman
many.
comics.
Mhm.
I read a few of the ones that Krypton TV, which again was
Yeah,
another
yeah,
guest. Krypton and everything has like introduced me to like actually physically reading The Dark Knight Returns and
mhm.
what was it that there was one before the website went down
Year
that I
one.
oh yeah, we did read year
We
one.
we
That
had
that
a
one was
we
a
had
really good
a
one.
book club, a
Yeah,
comic book
the
club for year
comic
one.
book club and everything.
Mhm.
And then yeah, there's year one, Dark Knight Returns.
Mhm.
Um, I think he wanted me to sit there and read the one that introduced the Court of Owls. He said that that was like a really good Batman run and everything. I can't remember who the writer is, but there's been like a few
Yeah,
like some older Batman comics that I've read. And I like a lot more of his like detective stuff. Even though some of those other ones aren't full detective stories, they feel more
yeah.
like they're adventure stories. And
Mhm.
this film that you picked and everything is definitely a detective story. It is the most
Yeah,
noir Batman movie
yeah.
ever created.
I would say it's sometimes, you know what? I think it's just too long. I think it's a little too long. But I
I
get
felt
it. I
that.
get it. I get the here these trying to these the I feel like the where him and where Batman and Catwoman they drive off from one another
Yeah.
when he drives away. I felt like that they could have cut that out. They could have cut out like 10 seconds of that.
I think they should
Fifteen.
have cut out the last
It's
30
it's just
minutes
parts of it where I'm
because
like, man,
the
it's a little
the
too long, but it's good.
the arrest of Falcone, Carmine
Mhm.
Falcone, and then his assassination, and then like the arrest of the Riddler, everything. I felt like all of that would have been perfect, and then like they could have ended it right there. Like Batman did it, but then they had to add like, oh yeah, well remember like that internet cult group that he was a part
Uh,
of, and we're like, ah shit. And I remember checking my
yeah.
phone. That was the only time that I kind of started feeling like, oh god, like get me off this
Yeah,
fucking roller
there's
coaster.
more.
Is like, yeah, there's more, and like I'm
There's
like
more.
looking, and I was like, we've been here for over 2 hours, and I go
Yeah.
and we watched through this, and I was like, all right, that was
Mm.
good. I checked my phone, 30 minutes. What the fuck? And I was like, it was
Dude,
like it was like a 2 hour and 30 minute fucking film, and I was like, I felt like that whole lead up
what's like your preferred movie length? Like, what do you think is like a good runtime for a
a
movie?
a good runtime.
Yeah,
Uh, 90 minutes.
90
I think
minutes.
I think you could tell a really good, compelling story in about 90 minutes.
Oh yeah, dude, I 100% agree. And 90 minutes is like for me that sweet spot of what I look for in a movie.
I mean, like, I've always been more of a fan of films that are like from like the 70s, like the new era of Hollywood and everything, but also enjoyed like the 60s where Roger Corman was coming up. There's just that time period where you could watch legit almost anything. Oh, there was exploitation, everything, but within like the that time frame, it's amazing. It doesn't feel like it's overdrawn out. By the time that the movie ends, it's like, man, that is so damn good. I want to sit there and see something almost like that once more.
Yeah.
But what was it about the Batman to you that also sprung out?
Okay, so yeah, the I'm sorry, I just got the hung up on the audio thing. I'm like,
Oh,
man,
you're good. You're good.
yeah, okay. So the Batman, I mean, other than the almost 3 hour runtime,
Hmm.
what I really liked about it was because we're about the same age. I think you're born in '93. I think you said
Yeah,
in
yeah.
yeah, and I'm born in '92. So we grew up with
The animated
the Batman of that
series.
time, the animated series, the Kilmer. We saw the Tim Burton ones. You know, we so if it, I what's it called? Sorry. So it fits or hit that this Batman kind of fits with that, like, you know,
Yeah,
the dark like action, you know, because there's some great action scenes. I really like
but I
the
feel
car
like
scene, the chase scene. Mm-hmm.
if you like read year one, it feels
Mm-hmm.
so like compared to it.
Like that, yeah,
Like I mean, when
yeah,
Batman's escaping the cops after fucking uppercutting Commissioner Gordon, or he's not
yeah,
yet commissioner yet, and then
yeah.
it's the early prototype of what's like essentially going to be like his bat wings and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and it's the jumper suit,
The suit,
and he
yeah,
doesn't.
yeah,
To me, rewatching it now, I was like, he didn't think this through, didn't he? And everything that
yeah.
bus
He's crazy.
was gonna go underneath that fucking that highway thing,
Yeah,
and obviously his what is it, his parachute catches it, and he just fucking hits it, and it's like,
yeah,
I
dude.
think
Oh man, that was
I
so
think year
cool.
one that happened the same thing too to him,
Yeah.
but he thought like, okay, like I think I kind of got it and everything, and like he
Mm-hmm.
ends up wiping out, and it's like, oh, like
Yeah.
that's nasty. That's gonna need some cream on it, and
Mm-hmm.
um the one thing I do really wish that the Batman had more of was a little bit more Alfred. I like that this
Yeah.
Alfred looks more like, oh, this looks like a guy that served in the Navy. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
like, you know,
He can kick some ass. Yeah,
so
he's
so
intimidating. Yeah, that I mean that just like for people that don't even read the comics, like if they play like Arkham Asylum, like all the Arkham
yeah.
games, because he's very much a detective in that, and it's like that's what I liked about it too. Because I've read year one prior to watching the Batman, and I watched the year one movie. I've watched a lot of Batman animated DC movies and like shows
Hmm.
and or really I because like I mentioned earlier, my favorite DC character is Nightwing. So I was watching a lot. Whatever he was in, I'd watch. So you know, it'd be Batman stuff or like the it's called Young Justice. I'd watch that.
Yeah, that was a good
Um
one. That was a good one. I
yeah,
didn't
yeah, I
catch
really
the
like
last
Young Justice.
season.
Yeah, me too, me too. But so it was just that it was just kind of like the Batman I was familiar with, and I although I liked like the Keaton and I liked Val Kilmer's Batman, as well as George Clooney. You know, I've the Arnold as Mr. Freeze when he's like "Nice to meet you," very great.
What
Um,
happened to the dinosaurs? The
yeah,
Ice Age. And it's
the
like
Ice Age and like when Robin kisses Poison Ivy and he peels the lips, the little plastic film off, and it's like, oh man, that was good. And then he pulls out the back credit card. They're going band for
that's it.
band, and he pulls out the back card, the back credit card.
It's a utility belt, not a
Great,
money belt. And it's like
yeah,
it's like MasterCard. It's like, ah, dear Lord, like
yeah, dude.
going from
It's just
forever to Batman and Robin, I was like the commercialism in this fucking film,
yeah, dude,
and then Bane being
so
played by a
good.
professional wrestler and everything,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah, Bane. Bane
yeah,
is
he's like,
Bane.
"Urgh," yeah, and
Um,
everything. And oh my lord, like yeah, no, that God, now you're going back to my childhood and everything.
yeah,
So
Batman.
Matt Reeves is the Batman, definitely activated that childhood Batman for you.
Yeah, in a way, yeah, just in a way, Matt. It's the world, the city, as cliche as it sounds, like Gotham did feel like a set piece as opposed to Nolan's Batman, which
Felt like
I
Chicago.
think, yeah, it didn't feel it was Batman, but it was different. And with a lot of these comic book movies, I try to have a open mind and I try to think to myself and remember that this is a different interpretation of this character in this world that I can't hate on it because
Yeah.
it's not bad, or it's not I can't hate it because it's not what I like, you know. It's like I have to
Hmm.
watch with open mind, like the Nolan movies or Snyder, right? His Batman, I thought was great. I thought Batflick, right? Batflick was great when that
Yeah.
warehouse scene where he's like hanging there and then he just beats
Oh,
the
he
he
fucking
killed those
chunks.
men. He
Yeah,
kills those men. Those
he
guys are dead.
he chunks the damn crate at the guy,
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
I think it actually hit him in the head, so I think
yeah.
that actually did kill him.
That guy's
And
dead, dude. They're all dead.
yeah,
That warehouse just dead bodies everywhere.
but like also
Um,
too, like I feel like that was more of an inkling of the Dark Knight Returns, and even that Batman was far
mhm.
more aggressive and far more like it's like, you know what, I tried doing this nicety shit back then.
Yeah,
Fuck it, I'm just gonna beat the living shit out of a guy that claims himself to be a mutant, to the point that, you
yeah,
know,
yeah. When they're
it's
fighting and then
yeah,
Bane punches the pillar twice.
yeah, and like
Yeah, that's
and he
crazy.
and then he comes out in a tank instead of a Batmobile. It's a fucking tank. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
dude.
this is like fascist Batman. You know, it's like where was this in the Injustice or the Injustice comic book series? I was waiting for that to pop up and
For
everything.
a militaristic Batman, yeah,
Yeah. There's
yeah,
also there's the thing that I also like to point out about the Batman is he's not the world's greatest detective yet, but he's
yeah.
pretty damn close. And
Mhm,
I like some of the really weird dry humor that Patterson does with this,
mhm.
where it's like they find out that the mayor like has lost like a digit on his hand and everything. And I think like one of the riddles was supposed to be thumb drive,
Yeah, yeah. And there's
and
a
like Gordon
thumb.
looks
Mhm.
at him and like Batman just gives this look like, I didn't fucking write it. Like it's like, you know, I remember in theaters
Yeah,
like when that happened, I just laughed, and my friend Lisa was like, what's wrong with you? And like I was like, I
yeah.
don't know. It's like I thought that was funny.
It
Yeah.
was very funny. I really like the scene with where they have Cobblepot and they show him some picture and he's like, ah, come on, what are you showing me? Like the way he says it is just so funny. I
I
laughed. Nobody
I
else
definitely
did,
love
but
Cobblepot in that.
it was so good.
Did you watch the TV
Um,
show?
yeah, I did. I did. I loved Gotham. I loved it. I watched it from beginning to end. I binged it. Um, it was so
Uh,
good. I watched a bit of like the CW stuff, like the Arrowverse, just a little bit.
I couldn't
But
get like after season 2, I was
mhm.
like, all right, I'm signing off of Green Arrow. And then I tried the
Yeah,
Flash like 2 seasons in. I was like, I'm the
yeah,
fastest man alive. I was like, quit lying to us. It's like, no,
yeah.
you're not. You're gonna fight another Quickster, you know, or a
Someone's always
Speedster.
faster. Yeah.
Yeah. Before we wrap up Batman, there is one key and important thing I do need
Mhm.
to ask you. Which do you think uh film series of Batman actually encapsulated Gotham City for what it was? Do you think Tim Burton hit it on the head? Do you think the Batman did it better? Even like Batman Forever, like there was like some really interesting. Well,
Yeah,
it kind of
because
lost
what
a
came to
bit of
my
that
mind,
gothic vibe. It felt
yeah, yeah,
very I don't know. It felt like almost like a funhouse city with Forever.
yeah, because what came to my mind when you asked me that was Forever, and it was the part where or before he's Robin, where Christopher Donald, or right, Chris O'Donnell, Chris Donald, I can't
Chris
remember the guy
O'Donnell.
that played
Yeah.
Chris O'Donnell. He when he takes a Batmobile for a joyride,
Hmm.
and he pops out, and they're like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm Batman," and he fights those like they're wearing like neon colored
Oh yeah.
like those little neon sticks, and so they got a bunch of neon stuff, and it's on their weapons, and that was like what came straight to my mind. But I don't know as far. I think maybe the Batman as far as like Gotham, but I say that as a place of like that I played a lot of. I really enjoyed the Arkham series, like the Arkham video game series, especially like Arkham Knight. I don't know if you played that one,
Yeah.
but yeah, and so that one was like it reminded me of that, where it's just like dirty and just not dirty, but like dark and just like it's always raining or it's always gloomy.
Yeah.
Because even like the day shots were pretty just like gloomy. I think the brightest it looked was when he was in his mansion and he had his like sunglasses on, like as if he had a hangover. Which, um, yeah, for me, I guess would be the Batman. I think that's why it's also one of the reasons why I chose the Batman as my favorite Batman, film wise, is because of it feels close to what I know, and it's just very, not only that, but it was, Matt Reeves. He was inspired by comic books by three. So there's like a, um, I bought the graphic novels that inspired him. So it was Batman Year One, which in this movie he's like Batman. It's his second year as Batman, I believe.
Yeah.
Or just, yeah, as a vigilante.
Because
But
he
Batman Year
has the
One,
suit, but he's still playing around with the gadgets, and
yeah. Let me
you get
see.
like that almost wannabe Bane toxin
Yeah,
thing that like a lot of people are like, oh
yeah,
my god, that's the Bane toxin. And it's like, ah, that's an adrenaline rush. It's like that's all
yeah.
what that is. Yeah.
Um. So it was the Long Halloween Year One, and I can't remember the other one, that's why I liked it. He was inspired by he had like a source a good understanding of his source material and what he did with it, and then
Mhm.
choosing Year Two Batman as his, like, as his Batman, or yeah, as that Batman. um and then him being so rough around the edges, just like when you brought up his parachute getting caught, and like he's getting his ass beat, but he's also beating ass, which I like too. Like he's actually like the fighting sequences are great when he that, like, from the very first trailer. I remember watching the trailer and I seen him when he beats that one dude, and
Oh
he's like,
yeah.
I'm vengeance or something like that, and then he just smacks him again or punches him again. Like, I was like, oh, it was beautiful, chef's kiss. Or when he goes into the iceberg lounge and he's just fighting all those dudes, and then
Hmm.
I think Cobblepot, he's like, hey, he's like, enough, like, come up. um
It just
yeah,
took
it's
him
just great.
like,
It's just,
beating the shit out of the majority of Cobblepot's men. And he's like, I say you
yeah,
met the
yeah.
twins. And I'm all like, I do like that maybe those twins were maybe a reference to I think it was Arkham, not Origins, but it was the second Arkham game. Everything, because I think
City.
there were like two twin clown brothers and everything, and they were referred to as the twins. And it's
Oh
all
no, I
like,
don't remember that. That's
yeah,
awesome.
I think it's in Arkham City, and it could have been that, or maybe it could have been Origins. It's one of the two, but like there's two brothers, and
Mhm. They're
I think
referred
like
to
at
as
one point
as the twins.
I think they were like sewn to the hip. But like obviously in the movie it's less freak show and it's more of
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
we're just two tough dudes that look almost identical, you know.
yeah.
But we're gonna switch things over from the I was gonna say the Arkham verse and everything. We're gonna switch things over from Arkham uh to a recently new one that we get to sit there and talk about. And oh my god, it's one of my favorites. And since we've already had mentioned um Val Kilmer and everything, this is like another Val Kilmer film. I think
Mhm.
he's the biggest outshine character in all of this. But Tombstone, this is the first time we're covering a western.
Tombstone.
I love me some good fucking westerns, and someone finally picked one. Why did you pick Tombstone?
Because well, Tombstone's, um I'm gonna I'm gonna break the illusion a little bit. So I picked Tombstone because Gothic hadn't watched my other pick yet. But it was kind of my fault because it was still too new. But
It's like Apple TV wants it for like fucking $20 or something. I'm like, god damn.
yeah, like, no. But Tombstone it actually was gonna be one of my original picks. And but I'm glad it just ended up still being a pick. But Tombstone has been one of those movies where that I grew up watching it. My mom really liked the movie, and she, I guess, when
We just hold on. We just lost audio. 1 second. What the bloody hell just happened? Oh, it's showing that you muted yourself.
Oh, sorry about that. When I moved. So I had moved this. So this is a shoot. What are these called again?
Laser discs.
Laser discs. So yeah, I
Back.
had moved the laser disc and I accidentally muted myself. So I apologize. What was the last thing you heard?
Your mother. That your mother picked
my
it.
mother. What about her? No, I'm just kidding. No,
Oh
so my mom really liked this movie, and I don't know when the VHS came out, but she bought it, and it was a big part of my childhood. It was Tombstone. There was also the Quick and the Dead, which is another great.
I gotta see that one. I
thought about choosing that one as well too, but then I was like, no, it's too much. There's gonna be too many westerns. But the Quick and the Dead was really good. But anyways, but Tombstone was like a big part of my childhood, growing up, and it was so cool. It was like it's so like what like westerns are cool in general. Like cowboys, I think I've always thought cowboys are really cool. I mean, and this one is it's not like it's more of a.
I feel like it's a stylized western.
Yeah, stylized westerns. Very Hollywood. It's very Hollywood western because it's based on a true story or true events of the shootout at OK Corral and Wyatt Earp and his gang, not his gang, but his friends and family helping him essentially hunt down the cowboys. Right, it was a group of cowboys. They all wore red.
Yeah.
Handkerchiefs and stuff, and to signify that they were
part of a
together.
gang.
Yeah, and I just like it was just really cool. It just like seeing again, it's definitely like a comfort movie. It's a classic. It's got a great cast. We were talking about it beforehand before we started the podcast, the stream, and I was telling Gothic that I think this is one of those movies where you could show it to anybody, and it's easy to follow along. It's such a good movie. Like the score was good. Like I hear it in my head like right now, but like I don't know. I think it's a great, like, for me it's like, because I'm so biased with it too, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. It's a 10 out of 10 movie.
You know what's also shocking? It's a Disney movie.
What? I didn't know that.
It's distributed by Buena Vista Pictures, so Disney technically owns it. At least here in North and South America. It's international rights were sent elsewhere, but yeah.
They don't recognize the crown.
Well, like usually Buena Vista is like, because like I think even they still use it where like if it's something that doesn't really quite meet the Disney brand, but like Disney owns it, it's like, all right, we'll release it underneath Buena Vista. And that's
I think American Me was one of those movies too, or is it Blood and Blood? No, I know there's like one of those like old like like gangster like East LA like Chicano movies that are technically Disney, and I think it was one of the two. It was either
I have no clue. You say Chicano, and I thought of Born in East LA for some reason.
Maybe that. No, is that the one with Cheech Marin?
Yeah, I think that was Cheech's first outing after he had split with Chong.
Damn.
Because the Corsican Brothers was, I think, 89, and that was like kind of like the burning out moment between those two dudes. And yeah,
I never got into their lore or like anything, like as far as like I've never really watched the movies. I've only ever, the most I've seen them in is like was
listen to her comedy albums
and the other thing. Oh yeah, comedy albums.
Yeah, like the best one's Dave and everything, and like it's like Cheech is playing the drug dealer, or no, I think he was like the drug mule that's supposed to like bring the weed and everything over,
Mhm.
and like he keeps knocking on the door, and like apparently I guess some cops were tailing him, so you hear
Yeah.
sirens in the back, and like he just keeps knocking on the door. He's like, come on dude, like let me in, it's me, Dave. And Chong's like, what? Dave's not here, man. And like, and it's like as it keeps progressing, it's like he's trying to be so quiet, and he's like, open up the damn door. And it's like, Chong is so stoned out of his mind. He's like, Dave's not here, man. And like the cops, and now I think you start hearing dogs in the background, and it's like, oh shit, they're coming in, they're getting closer, and he's just freaking out. It's that one, and Santa Claus and his old lady,
Mhm.
and
No, dude, I've
yeah, like there's a lot. Like back when they used to do comedy albums, like I feel like that's like Cheech and Chong and like Richard Pryor and George Carlin. That was like the like pinnacle of like comedy at that time, and I absolutely freaking love it.
yeah, I'm gonna have to look into it. I looked it up. Right, I wrote it down and I'm gonna look into Cheech and Chong and their other works.
But
Uh
yeah, Tombstone.
yeah, I
Tombstone
didn't know Disney.
has
Yeah, I
to
didn't know
been
Disney
like,
owned Tombstone. Yeah.
yeah, Tombstone has like again like a powerhouse of a cast and everything. Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton, Powers Booth, which Powers Booth plays like a lot of those like really powerful guys and everything. This is like the first time that I've actually seen him play like a bandit. Even though he's like the
Mhm.
leader, he doesn't really look like he has so much power, but he has a lot of charisma and that smile. But if you've seen Sin City,
Yeah.
he was the villain in that one. Deadwood, he was like one of the many saloon owners and antagonists in that series. That one, I think, God, he should have won an award for that.
Yeah.
Like
It's
his
just so
role,
dislikable. Like he played it like is a very
dislikable but
unlikable.
very likable, because he could
Yeah.
sit there and he can draw you in with just how he enunciated his words, and all he had to do was
Oh.
smile, and you felt so pulled in. But the moment that the doors are closed, that smile goes away, and it's like, oh shit, like who did I just got into business with?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that double cross his ass, and they know they hit the hay, because it's like if they stick around, they know he's gonna have him killed. Um, and I think like right next to that, Al Swearington, played by Ian McShane. If you screwed him, not only were you going to be dead, but you're going to be fed to the pigs and everything. So I feel like I'm on a huge Western like boom. Deadwood. I'm about to jump into Justified. Um, Again, I mentioned it's the first Western that we're covering on here. So if you want to, I have plenty of Westerns to freaking offer you to watch and everything.
Oh
If
yeah.
that's fine.
Please.
The
Yeah,
Dollars
that's fine.
trilogy. Dollars trilogy. Good, the Bad, and
Yeah,
the
Dollar
Ugly.
Trilogy. Have you
Fistful of
watched
Dollars.
Pale Rider?
Love that one. That's another good one.
Pale
That's an
Rider is a good
underrated
one.
one. Outlaw Josie
I liked it.
Wales.
I've seen Josie Wales.
Pretty much anything Clint Eastwood in a Western, you should watch it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I've seen Josie Wales. There's one
um,
I had like a 3-pack. It was with Roy Orbison. I can't remember what the hell they were called, but and I bought them at the 99-cent store. Rest in peace to the 99-cent store because they're gone forever. But yeah, I bought that, the 3-pack of those movies, and the Pale Rider and Josie Wales
nice and everything.
for
There's
a dollar.
Blazing Saddles. I feel like right next to Tombstone, I think Blazing Saddles is probably like your best
Blazing
bet.
Saddles.
With you can't beat a
50
Mel
Goes
Brooks film.
West.
Which one?
50 Goes West.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's going way over my damn head. It's been a while since I've seen Blazing Saddles and everything. Like I could think of like
No. 50 Goes West is a movie.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I never heard of that one.
So have you watched An American Tale?
Oh, Fightful
It's an
Goes
animated
West.
movie.
Okay,
50,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, I've seen clips of
Yeah.
this. Believe it or
Yeah.
not, this is when I was a kid, I never watched the
Dude,
American Tail movies.
I grew up just watching 50 Goes West because it goes hand in hand with the Tombstone movie. Because I think I watched Tombstone and then I watched 50 Goes West, and it was about cowboys and stuff, and so I would watch those are in rotation for sure. 50 Goes West is I think a good Western movie.
Hell
It
yeah.
captures the Western spirit for sure.
We could stay in the West all we like and everything, but we're gonna move into like I guess the New West and everything with
New
our
West.
our
Well, to the
final.
east. I'm going to the east.
Oh, technically, is it at the East and
It's in
everything,
the
or
east.
the East Coast
Yeah,
and
New
everything?
York. Yeah.
We're gonna switch on over to a film that I'm doing my best not to jinx it, knock on wood, even if it's fake wood. Uh, it's never had a bad sequel. The first
Uh-huh.
film still stands as one of the best stories ever told and everything, but John Wick. And I mean, I haven't seen John
Mhm.
Wick 4 though. I haven't seen the fourth one. Is that the one with Donnie Yen?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, okay, I
Fourth
haven't seen
one,
that one.
gotta watch it. Gotta watch it. So good.
I remember being on the fence for any of the sequels because I love the first film so much. It's such a wonderful revenge tale. It's like
Mm-hmm.
man falls in love with girl. He's a hitman. He gives up that
Yeah.
past. You know, boy loves girl. Girl and boy adopt a dog together. Girl
Yeah.
dies, and then dog dies later on from asshole, like robbers.
S-
And
So
they didn't realize they're fucking with the Baba Yaga.
yeah. So it's so actually they they don't adopt the dog together, so she dies, right? She passes away from her sickness, her
Hmm.
because she's sick. And then what I really liked, what, because I just recently watched it, um John Wick, one of the reasons why I chose it is just it's I agree, it's good, it's a great revenge story, it's got good action, um and it's just like the character of John Wick, and then the world itself too, like that whole underworld where the it's a world full of assassins, and everyone gets paid by with these gold coins. And he's the or he's what the yeah he's the Baba Yaga with the boogeyman fears and all that. And I really liked it, like the whole just when it starts off, he shows him crashing, and then it cuts to the him going through the shoot, what is it, his the funeral for his wife,
Yeah.
and then him getting the dog, and then just like the message that she leaves for him saying, like, like, you can't, she's like, I know you, like, yourself, like, I know you're gonna grieve, I know you're gonna miss me, so I got you this dog because you can't grieve alone. This is to help you. Just, this dog is for you. It's from the last gift I'm giving to you, because
Oh.
she knows him. And he, he like it's that dog is has such a sentimental value to him, because it's the last gift from his wife, that when those assholes that do show up and kill her, it's like it sets everything in motion over a car, right? Because it's all over a fucking car. And
Yeah.
in the letter that she leaves for him, she says, like, I know you, like, you're gonna, like, you need someone there to help grieve you, and the car doesn't count. And like, yeah, these assholes, like, they come and they steal the car and they kill the dog. And then the whole revenge, like him coming out of retirement, like the whole point of the first movie, like a lot of what everyone says is like, oh, you're back, oh, it's nice to see you again, oh, like, um like he did something that, like, for the main character, the main antagonist, he did a job for him to be free of this underworld of like this assassin world, because like a lot of the times when it comes to like gangs and like like these underworld things, you can't leave that life behind, or
Yeah.
if you do, you have to do like an impossible task. And like in the movie, the guy, he's like, I gave him an impossible task to be free, and he did it. Like it was impossible. They didn't say what the hell he did. It was impossible. But when he puts his mind to something, he does it. And
Yeah.
and then, I mean, like, that's what John Wick, he fucking goes in. He's like, they killed my dog. They took my car. I lost everything. So he goes in and he goes after the guy, and like, and then the whole like scene, like just the action itself too, when he's in his house and like he's like, uh, killing all those dudes, and he calls up the cleaners, right? Like that
Yeah.
whole scene was real cool. Like that movie itself. I mean, when it came out, I remember going to the movie theater knowing nothing about it. I just picked the movie, and like I sat down, and it fucking changed my life. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, what is this? This is like, action is so good. A lot of the movies I chose for this podcast, I mean, it's all been action themed, because I'm a big fan of like action, like especially a good choreography. Like I've learned to appreciate I'm not like a film critic or anything like that, but I kind of try to look at things from the filmmaker's perspective or just from a coordinator's perspective, especially like when it comes to like action. Like with the Batman, I mean, like just some of the fight sequences, even the shootout sequences in Tombstone. A lot of the fight sequences in John Wick is they're so great, and they really did set a whole new, at least on the American or on the western side of the world, in the film world, they've set a lot a better standard in terms of action movies.
Mm-hmm.
Just like on the oh shoot, what's it called? We brought it up earlier, but it was like
You talking about the Hong Kong action
yeah,
crates and
like it,
everything? Yeah.
yeah, like there's so much, they're more choreographed. Or like, have you seen Old Boy? You
Yeah.
know, that long hallway scene, and they're just constantly like everything is
I mean
choreographed.
that
Everything
film
like
has been repackaged and re-referenced so many times. Like even in
yeah,
Disney, with the Marvel Daredevil and everything, they had the iconic hallway
yeah,
fight scenes. Those were
yeah,
inspired by Old Boy, and which
yeah.
even then, like I don't know if the original Old Boy was also done by like the people who did the Raid or anything like that.
No, I can't
But
remember,
like,
but there's a
but
trilogy
even
that he's made.
but like even the Raid and everything, um, had what is it, capitalized on that fight scene and everything of like there's like these hallway fight scenes, it kind of looks a bit sloppy but it's not, and everything it kind of gives you
It's
almost a
like
bit of
it
that
gives the illusion
realistic
of
vibe.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It gives you like the illusion of it being real, that anyone can do it essentially. Or like with John Wick, when they're like, sometimes the action feels slow. If it's fast, but the pacing, the movement feels slow because it's all like they're
Yeah.
using like real they're using their whatever style of martial arts that character knows. They're
Hmm.
using it in like a real world situation, but but it's just more, it's like a dance on screen. and
uh
and and John Wick, it just kind of set that bar. Like, and then again, like with the sequels, it just
mhm.
it keeps increasing. It set even higher, not necessarily the bar, but it just kept improving as far as the action went. And yeah, for me, John Wick, I mean, even like if like just turning my brain off and not paying attention to the story and the world, because it builds, again, it's got like this mystery of like this underworld, like what the fuck are up with these gold coins, like what's up with that, you know? But
Oh
it's like what
yeah,
they
for
use
the
for.
yeah.
um and
I,
then, you know, because before they got its sequels, like it was different, it was new. I mean, it was Keanu Reeves like just kicking ass and stuff, and then um him using his cars is, I think both the cars, he used them as weapons throughout the movie, like him
yeah.
using like use, and then like hearing about, and this goes into the second one, but then like I've seen him kill a man with a pen, and like in the second movie he does that, he fucking kills someone with the pencil.
It's been a while
um
since I've seen that one. I
but
usually most of the sequels is like they're only like one and done I've seen, and I'm all like, all right,
mhm.
I could probably revisit this in a couple of years and everything. I wanted to ask you because you mentioned the choreography and the fight scenes for this, and how like it's not like polished or anything, like it is like a little bit sluggish. Do you prefer these types of fight scenes, especially like with the camera cuts? Do you prefer these,
Oh
or do
yeah,
you prefer like the 1970s and 80s Hong Kong films that Bruce Lee did, where the martial arts, where it almost seemed like it was just one camera and it kind of
yeah.
followed a bit and it did a few inserts and everything. Like, what are your
Mhm.
thoughts on that? Like, do you think that probably, I guess, modern day martial arts film, they rely too much on inserts uh
I think I like,
to do it, that it gets maybe like a little too much for like the viewer to like absorb visually, compared to
yeah.
like those old school Bruce Lee, where Bruce Lee, he didn't have to do much. Like he can just do one shot of him just doing a side kick to some dude and watch him fly, and that was good.
I I think I more think of like Jackie Chan, like Rush Hour. I recently watched Rush Hour with my son. It was his first time viewing it. He liked it,
Hmm.
and there was that scene where he's trying to, because at the end of Rush Hour, they're having an auction for like old I think very old like Chinese uh paintings and vases and things like that, like just yeah, just very antiques, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like doing this whole bit like where he's fighting two dudes at once, but he's trying to keep the vase from dropping, and like so it's like, but he's doing that like it's not, there's no cuts, there's like it's all just like pretty much in one take. I like things like that where it doesn't have to be one in one take, but where they do the take where it's more of a tasteful take where like they insert it where it's not too many cuts
Yeah.
where it's not believable, where it's not like
Yeah.
where you don't see the punches connect or the kicks connect and the blocking, even parrying and things like that. Like you just see, I really like that action. Like, have you watched like Nobody?
I've seen clips of it, but no, I have not seen it.
Yeah, Nobody does something similar. Uh,
I I do
Action
remember.
sequences in the vein of John Wick, or like I think Milkshake, Sugar Bombshell Milkshake, or something like that.
You lost me on that one.
Yeah, that it's I can't remember. It's got Karen Gillian in it and a bunch of like she plays an
Oh,
assassin
oh,
and
okay, yeah, okay.
uh
I know which one you're talking about now,
yeah,
and everything.
yeah.
That also reminded me. Robin Shaw, who did Mortal Kombat, he was the one that also did a lot of the what modern day, how we do modern day filming for fight scenes and everything, because
Mhm.
Mortal Kombat, though that one didn't rely too heavily on so many cuts compared to like
Yeah.
a John Wick or like a Taken, where like obviously we know, though Keanu Reeves does do the practice, he does the work and
Yeah.
everything, and like not just the martial arts but the shooting and everything. And um but like Robin Shaw, who had worked with Jackie Chan uh overseas and everything, and he came
Mhm.
over and did Mortal Kombat, and how like essentially the fight scenes in that movie weren't working, so they're like, all right, let's do it Robin's way, and Robin made everyone look good, everything, and they
Yeah.
only did like a few like insert shots of
Mhm.
like maybe like a connect or whatever, or what looked
Yeah.
like a connect, and it's like I feel like I even like that because going back to watch the OG Mortal Kombat, no hate against the new one, but I just don't like your main character. um I
You
hope
know,
I
hey,
hope
dude,
I hope
you
they
don't gotta
save
apologize
themselves.
to no one for that, because who the fuck does?
I really do
Right?
hope,
Like,
because I've seen a still from the new Mortal Kombat movie. It looks far more
oh,
promising and
yeah,
everything.
I've
It looks more promising, but
for
watching
sure, for sure.
I think it's 96. I think that's when the OG movie came out and everything. Watching that, I could watch that and it's like, all right, it looks like these guys can do it. Especially with the chick that not played Sonya, but played the police officer. I mean, she had just flown onto that set, had no preparation even for her lines.
Oh
And
wow,
like
yeah, I didn't know
she
that.
had to learn on spot. So she's learning martial arts as she goes, and it's like Robin's
That's
such a
cool.
great teacher
Yeah.
because yeah. Um
No.
w-
Um. So yeah, and then so I know. So and the question you asked me was so great because it also leads into another movie that I had brought it up earlier, was that I actually that Tombstone replaced, which is Love Hurts. And Love
mhm.
Hurts, that movie, the action in that is actually really great. And so everyone, what is it? Everywhere, no, Everything Everywhere All at Once was gonna be one of my picks, but Layla had picked it, Layla,
Mhm.
and yeah, and it's it's such a good movie. But I really like the action. I'm gravitated towards the action, and I always mispronounce his name, but Key, is it? It's
Ki Hu
Key
Kwan.
Ki Kwan, yeah. And in Love Hurts, his action sequences are so good, and I like this whole like this new resurgence of for him, and this like he's in his Renaissance era, right? Where he's like he just started in his own movie, and he's made a big comeback in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and like I looked into him, and he like did the choreography for a lot of great movies. He did a choreography for like the X-Men 2, I think, or for the first one as
Oh.
well. Um, so he does a lot of choreography stuff and stunts and coordinating and action sequences, and this in that movie it's a lot of that, like a lot of like that Jackie Chan vibes. We talked a little bit about it, but there's like this one scene where he's fighting in the kitchen, and And it just reminded me of Jackie Chan trying to protect something. He has this thing in his hand that I'm trying not to spoil as much as I can, but he's protecting this thing in his hand, and like you see him like he's fighting in the kitchen. He's using the environment to as a weapon as well, but also getting the shit kicked out of him, but still kicking ass. And it's just like it's just done really well, and like the takes are a little bit long, so it's like you see a lot of the hits
Yeah.
hitting
I,
and
I
stuff.
like a longer
So
take. I like a longer take
yeah,
where, if they can hide it very well, and it's like, yes,
yeah,
thank you. Thank you for not
even
overloading
more
my
smoke and mirrors as opposed to
yeah.
CGI.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, thank you for not overloading my brain
Mm-hmm.
synapses. And it's like, I'm like over here, it's like, did I just see like 20 fucking cuts in a fight scene that
Dude,
was like only 2 minutes? Like I get it, you can do it, but
yeah,
should you do it? Like,
yeah. So, have you watched Enola Holmes on Netflix? It's with Millie Bobby Brown. Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown
I think
or Millie Brown.
yes. I think the one I
Yeah,
haven't seen is the second one. I don't know if that one's out yet or if they
dude.
canceled it.
I think it's out, but the no, it is out. But the first one, the whenever I think of a bad cut, I think of Enola Holmes of the scene where she jumps down from a tree, and I think it cuts like 2 or 3 times when she jumps, or it's just like I don't know, but it's just a very jarring cut because the tree isn't that high up either. She's not very high up, but she
Yeah.
jumps down from the tree and it cuts. It cuts to her jumping, and I think it cuts to her landing, and it's like, what the fuck was that about? Like she could
It's
have just
like,
jumped off the tree, like dude. Just I'm gonna find the clip. I'm gonna or a clip of it, or I'll watch that movie and I'll find that scene and I'll send it to you. But it's just it's the worst. It's the worst thing I've ever seen,
oh
and I
my
think about it
lord.
all the time. I don't know why. I don't know why I do this to myself, but yeah. When I think about bad cuts like that, it went straight into my head. I had to share that.
Oh, no, that's fair and everything. Like I've seen my shares of like I like look at this and I'm all
Oh
like,
yeah,
I was like, someone had fun in the editing room. It's like
yeah,
this looked
yeah.
like something of we had more,
It is yeah,
but we had to cut this because we had to shrink time for something. This was one of those, and like we had to figure something out for this. So choo choo choo. There, it's done. It's quicker. We're safe and everything. We don't have to, move on. And then later on you see it and you're like, oh shit, that looked like crap. You know. But sometimes I feel like when it comes there, even though they look like bad cuts, it's like I always kind of go back to what it's like in film school. And when we did do this, I was like, this felt like this was a last minute rush job that even that editor was like, I don't like this. Like, but whatever, let it go. We're done here and everything. Move on to the next project. We're gonna sit there and ask folks and everything. If you guys actually have any questions for Shake in the chat and everything, do let us know and everything before we get ready to wrap up. Um, Also, too, there's like one thing I really do love about Matt Reeves' The Batman that we were also talking about,
mm-hmm,
where like he said to says, I am vengeance. Even though I
mm-hmm,
cannot stand the last 30 minutes of that fucking film, I actually do like the character change in Batman, where at the beginning he's like, I am vengeance. And whenever they ask that one
mm-hmm.
dude after they unmask him, like, what are you? And he's like, I am vengeance. And it's just that sudden look of Pattison, like, oh God, is this what I've done? Like
Yeah,
instead
yeah, yeah,
instead of
yeah.
bettering
Yeah.
Gotham, I've made a vigilante and
Yeah.
who's gonna kill all these people, by trapping them all in and sniping them off one by one. And then to see him do that self-sacrifice with the electric box and everything, and how he
Mhm.
cuts it and then just bam goes into the water, and then
Yeah,
bam he
then
comes back out road flare, and I was like, this man's got
yeah.
everything. And it's like, and he leads the little boy who is like popped up at least 5 times in this movie, and it's like
Yeah.
because it's supposed to be the symbol of his childhood and
Yeah,
everything,
his
and it's
innocence.
like,
He's protecting his
yeah.
innocence.
And
Yeah.
like it's
No,
like
I agree.
that's probably like really the only good thing about that was Batman kind of learned that he cannot be this object of fear
Mhm.
among the criminal, that live there, but also
Yeah.
too it is that he has to also shine as a beacon of hope for the people of Gotham. Like, that's what he
Yeah.
has to do. And I hope to sit there and see a lot more of that. Like, even though
Yeah,
I do
I'm looking
love
forward to the second one for
I
sure.
I love this grungy, like he's gonna beat the living
Hmm.
shit out of you. He's an angry ass kid with a lot of money and a lot of time on his hands. And then like afterwards, it's like, oh well, maybe we'll start seeing the Wayne Foundation step in a little bit more. And
Yeah. See, I'd like to see a little bit more of Bruce Wayne, of him doing his Bruce Wayne duties, I guess, right? Wearing that Bruce
yeah,
Wayne mask.
instead of
Because
being the
I mean,
recluse.
yeah. I want to see the billionaire playboy philanthropist, or is that
Yeah,
Iron Man? Well, yeah, whatever,
it's the
But
same thing. Just
same thing, yeah. But I think because yeah, the Batman. I mean, like it's not just a great comic book movie, but it's also a good movie. Like it's a good
mhm.
movie. Yeah, it's a little bit long, but other than that, I mean, like it's a great movie. Like it's
I do
it's
feel like
his character development. You see his character development in the movie, which is nice, like you said.
mhm,
And then just like that whole when he has the flare part and like he reaches his hand down, the only one to grab it, the first one to grab it is that kid, and then because the kid he felt safe with Batman, so
yeah,
and then like then there's that helicopter part where he has that lady where he's helping that lady and to the paramedics and to get loaded up on the helicopter thing, and she's like holding him, but she then the look they give each other is hers is like thank you, and his is just like the realization of like he's getting that help, or like he's helping, like he's actually making that difference. And
it's
he's
also
becoming the
something
knight.
speaking to himself of like, instead of being this reckless crazed person,
Yeah,
this is what I need to be. And yeah, like those moments towards the end of the film, those were the ones that really kind of hit him of like, hopefully in the next films we start seeing a little bit more of kind of like that Kevin Conroy Batman, that yeah, he'll
hmm,
scare the living shit out of you, but like when there comes to like a child or whatever, he understands you completely, of
yeah,
like that fear, that innocence, and he will do everything to defend that, regardless it's a man dressed in a bat suit, and like at any moment he could
yeah.
shatter your jaw if he wanted to. um
Yeah.
we are going to wrap it up for
Okay.
today, though, and everything. Where can people find you on the socials?
You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter. I know I'm still there. ShakeofMilk. You can find me pretty much everywhere on ShakeofMilk. YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. Um, yeah, that's where I'm mostly active on, like Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter. And I stream here and there. Right now, I've been so hung up on Star Wars Outlaws that I've just been playing it off stream. But I'll be back. I'll be here and there, like I said. But yeah,
All right. And folks, you can find me on all the socials: Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, not X. I'm not on there, but I am on Blue Sky and everything.
Blue Sky.
TikTok
Yep.
at the Gothic Storyteller. Thank you guys so much again for listening. This is probably the episode that we have gone on so many tangents, and I did not feel bad whatsoever and everything. It was great
Mhm.
talking to you, Shake. It was great having you here. And yeah, folks, we'll see you in the next one. See y'all later.